as a working aspirant thinking of preparing for an examination like RBI, or at present preparing for RBI, you often find it very difficult to manage your work as well as your studies. And it's not too hidden that all of us face the same challenges and all of us have the same problems. A lot of you out there who are working professionals and trying to get up the career ladder, trying to find a better job, find a better opportunity, you look at RBI as something that you can grab onto, but you also feel that it is too out of reach because बहुत ज़्यादा effort चाहिए, बहुत ज़्यादा मेहनत करनी है, and you find it difficult to manage all of this with your job. In this session today, I want to break some myths and I want to help you be able to prepare for the next examination that will be held in 2025. First of all, I will tell you 4 major things that we need to work upon, and then we will try and figure out how to work upon these 4 things one by one. Okay? So, first of all, let me briefly tell you what are the 4 things that I feel, based upon my discussion with a lot of aspirants, the problems as well as the strengths that you probably know that exist, but you're not able to use them. So the first major thing that you have to identify is to identify the challenges you face presently. According to my own discussions with a lot of working aspirants, it is majorly time and energy. आपको लगता है आपके पास time नहीं है, और आपको लगता है you're already exhausted from so many things happening around you that you do not have time to prepare, to study specifically and dedicatedly for RBI. RBI is not the same old examination जहाँ पे 2 महीने पढ़ाई की और आपका selection हो गया. The examination has also evolved, and with that we also need to evolve the way we study. So this is the first challenge that I will be talking about, कि आपको time कैसे manage करना है और आपको अपनी energy किस तरह से use करनी है, because you have limited energy in a day. The second thing that you need to identify is the requirements to prepare for RBI. हमें क्या क्या करना है, what all is to be done. It's very important to have a clear understanding that these are the requirements to prepare well and to be prepared to the extent that I can clear the examination, and this is where I stand right now. So if I do X, Y, Z things, I can fulfill these requirements. उन सब चीज़ों पे हम बात करेंगे. The third thing that I would want to talk about is to identify your strengths that you seem to have attained due to your work, but even you are not aware about those strengths that you have. ऐसा बहुत सारे लोगों के साथ होता है. Especially working professionals have a lot of strengths that students who have never worked in the past, fresh graduates, they do not have these strengths. How to be able to utilize these strengths जिसको हम लोग नहीं utilize कर रहे and we let them go. So this will be the third thing that I would want to discuss with you guys. And the fourth thing is to identify your weaknesses. क्या क्या मेरी weaknesses हैं? Challenges से थोड़े से weaknesses अलग हैं. For example, lack of focus due to too much being on your plate becomes one of your weaknesses and not just a challenge. तो सबसे last में हम इन चीज़ों पे बात करेंगे. First of all, let's talk about the challenges. Biggest challenge according to me is lack of time as well as tiredness due to work. Now the good news is that it can be overcome with the right attitude and with the right planning. क्या करना है? First of all, observe your present routine and find free time periods. For example, early morning 4 to 6 is free for all of us. हम लोग अपना काम शुरू करते हैं 9 बजे, 10 बजे, 8 बजे in that time period. But before that we are free, and instead of trying to study after our work is done, why not study before it? Because when you get up in the morning, your mind is fresh, you're free of all the thoughts that you will have in the evening after your work, you're not mentally and physically exhausted, and therefore you can give maximum priority at this point of time to your studies. It is a time that you can easily create by sleeping early and not by trying to get up early. अगर कोई 8 बजे 9 बजे सो पाता है, 9 o'clock is a good time to sleep, then also you'll be easily able to get up at 4 and start studying. ये पहली चीज हो गई. Second is, lunch time is free for majority of us. You have a choice whether you wish to enjoy the lunch with your colleagues or you want to spend it by reading or listening to videos while eating. So this is the second time period that you all have, but you're not able to utilize it because हम लोग बहुत ज़्यादा सोचते नहीं हैं उसके बारे में. Evenings are normally tiring and too distracting. Therefore, sleeping early like Akshay Kumar is the best and the only way out there that you can utilize your time more productively and therefore can overcome these two major problems, time and energy. Okay? Because you're studying immediately after getting up from sleep, the challenge of tiredness is also resolved through this, and therefore both the things are solved just by using one technique, just by adopting one technique. I hope this is clear. Let's come to the second point, which is what are the requirements to prepare for an examination like RBI. First of all, I need to complete the syllabus once. I need to revise once every week. Let me keep Sundays purely for revision. I will start writing on Sundays once I have completed some substantial syllabus as well. So every week, the amount of time that you're dedicating to studies, an equivalent amount of time, if not more, has to be dedicated to revision as well as tests as well. Third is I need to cover current affairs. Let me read newspapers while traveling or during lunchtime. That way I can utilize my time better. Remember, newspapers have a very low input-output ratio, which means your input is very high, but your output is very less. Therefore, always read newspapers when your concentration levels are low. Traveling and lunchtime are the two time periods where you can use them better by reading newspaper. You can also watch videos of current affairs in travel and lunchtime. I remember rank 5, I believe in 2022, Miss Nidhi Yadav, she told me when she came for the interview that I used to read newspaper or listen to videos, current affairs videos during my lunchtime. I did that throughout the year. Uski wajah se news and current affairs became second nature to me. That's what she said, and that's what worked in her favor. The next thing that you need to do in order to be prepared well is to practice tests. Let me keep Saturdays for tests. The more tests I take, remember, the better feedback I will get. So I study from Monday to Friday, take one test every Saturday and revise every Sunday. I can also start later writing on Sundays only and taking some other objective kind of tests on Saturdays as well. Now, this is a very big issue because a lot of aspirants feel that because I was not able to study from Monday to Friday at a long stretch, so I want to be prepared better by reading more on Saturdays and Sundays. I would recommend doing otherwise. Study for 2 to 3 hours every day from Monday to Friday, and Saturday and Sunday, step aside a lot of time for tests plus for revision. That will help you understand and identify whether you are going in the right direction or not, and that works very well, and that helps a lot of aspirants change the way they study if they realize that they're going in the wrong direction or if they're not able to understand and remember whatever they're reading. Okay. The next thing that I need to do in order to be completely prepared is awareness about previous year papers. Now, there's a very good technique in order to cover previous year papers. Every morning, let's spend 15 minutes on previous year papers and then only I will start studying. If you can follow this, automatically you will feel that your understanding of the examination, of the examiner's way of asking questions, all of that is much better known to you than the competition out there. Let's come to the third part, which is identifying your strengths, which often feel like they're hidden and you don't know about them already. See, you as a working professional know how to push yourself. You know how to be more organized. You know how to use your laptop to study better. You can easily make notes online because you're used to working on the laptop. Why not use this strength? Because the more notes you make online rather than on paper, the more you study online rather than using paper, the better you're going to be because you're preparing for an examination which requires targeted studying. If at all you feel that I need to study from some paper-based thing as well simultaneously just to satisfy my need to use paper, then you can either use paper for writing or you can also use paper for studying something else just for curiosity. But when it comes to preparing for the examination, you can use a lot more online setup rather than just paper. This is a strength because majority of the students out there who do not have exposure to working, they're not used to using laptop too much. And therefore, they tend to go back to either books or notes on paper, not on laptop. They also tend to make notes on paper rather than on laptop. That hurts them in the end. The second strength that you have is Excel. You have used probably Excel in the past. You can use Excel to create your own planner. And even if you've not used it that much, your ability to learn it and use it is even more, at least more than the students out there, because workplace में कहीं ना कहीं Excel use होता ही होता है. Excel can also be a very good tool to create accountability for yourself. Therefore, use Excel regularly. I've already created a weekly planner and it's there on YouTube as well as on my website. Try and get hold of it and use it regularly in order to create accountability, in order to understand what to read next, and therefore less confusion, and in order to help yourself regularly and consistently grow towards your plan, towards your target. Okay. The third major strength that you have, and even you are not aware about it, is that you're desperate to improve your life and your career. You can do anything to do better in your career. This desperation can push you to work harder. You can be more disciplined than others out there. Unfortunately, majority of the working professionals out there are not aware that this is a strength. They feel that this is a liability or a weakness, but this is in fact a strength, because this discipline, this desperation can push you harder than other students out there. I hope this is clear. Let's come finally to the weaknesses that exist right now for you as a working professional, but you can work upon these weaknesses as you go along in your preparation. That is the fortunate part. It's a reality that there is too much on your plate with your work, with your personal life, with Netflix and social media, and all these seem like too much, and you don't know how to fit in your preparation amongst all these things. Let's try and reduce these weaknesses one by one, because you certainly cannot remove everything, but you can remove some things. First of all, as I said, study in the morning so that work pressure does not affect your studies. Secondly, spend one evening completely free of any stress. Spend time with your friends, with your parents, and in this time period, just eat and talk. Do not use social media, do not use TV. Automatically, you will feel more relaxed, more recharged for your next coming week. Thirdly, and this is the most important part, you have to identify what is more important, your career or Netflix. If it is your career, if your inner calling says career, get rid of Netflix, Prime, and various other platforms at least for a year. It also includes Instagram and sometimes for some people Telegram as well, because they are not going to define your life. Therefore, why do you need them? At least for a year, you can get rid of them, stay away from all these social distractions, and focus on preparing for the examination for your career advancement. Fourthly, and this is very important, use YouTube only to learn new things. Now, YouTube is the only beautiful platform that you can use for targeted learning. There's no such other platform. But at the same time, YouTube can also be used. YouTube can also be used for distractions, for entertainment, and therefore you have to be wise here. You cannot immediately go off YouTube, because a lot of learning will be out of your reach otherwise. But at the same time, you can be more disciplined and use YouTube for targeted learning. Lastly, and this is the most important, forget about others. Tell yourself, let's focus on myself for a while, let's work hard, and simultaneously let's study harder. Please make sure that you are working very, very hard in your workplace as well, because that is where you're learning a lot of skills that will come handy in your preparation as well as in your interview. But at the same time, you have to study harder. If you can find that focus for a while, automatically you will see results coming your way. That is it from my side. I hope this video and this discussion was helpful. If you have anything to say, if you feel that there is some other weakness, some other strength, some other challenge, feel free to pen it down in the comment section below. I will try and answer it as soon as possible. I'll see you again very soon. Till then, all the best.